So I issued a challenge because he's actually never beaten me, 1 versus 1, to a worms off for a slap bet.
Slap bet. How many slaps?
We'll do 3 slaps.
3 slaps?
So 3 slaps at any point during any video. Did I do 12 damage? It did. 24. And that is the game.
If you want to see any other matchups versus myself, Lasercorn.
That's the best part. See? He doesn't know when it's coming. It could be any video. No, I had it.
Yeah.
Is it alright?
Thank you.
Let me see.
Still getting nothing.
I remember the cord had to kind of be...
Why don't you plug it into that XLR instead?
Or what else? Yeah. Here. Oh, hold on. So what do you mean?
Is that alright?
Can you try it? Oh, okay. Yeah, you wanna... Let me make a little sound check from you.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Gamer Nation.
From out of nowhere.
Were we rolling?
Slap number 1.
Was that? You son of a bitch!
You shouldn't make slap bets, Joven, if you don't want to get slapped.
Welcome to Gamer Nation, where I just got slapped in the face.
How's your face feeling?
And that actually hurt a lot.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
I wasn't expecting
Did
it.
that a little too hard.
And not only did I get slapped in the face, but
It
I'm wearing a
felt so
Twilight
right.
shirt too. This is the worst day ever.
Felt so right.
You gotta stop losing video
But
games.
this is the last day that you will see me in a Twilight shirt, thus why Lasercorn picked the worst possible shirt we
Yes.
can find. I hope some of you find it sexy, maybe.
No, I don't think that...
I don't think
No one's
anyone
gonna find
I don't
that
think
sexy.
that anyone could find that
Role-playing games. Today we're talking about the evolution of role-playing games and like how they've started and where they've come and how they've really influenced today's gaming. I know, like, personally, I've always loved turn-based role-playing games and like games like
Yeah.
Mass Effect now, where you see that implements of a role-playing game into it. How do you guys feel about the?
Well, Mass Effect isn't turn-based.
No, I think he
No, it's not.
was
It's just-
he
Oh,
was
elements of turn-based
Yeah.
games.
Well,
yeah,
no, elements
I think
of
he
role-playing
kind of
games.
he went off on a tangent without actually having anything that linked to that, thereby
I'm still a
confusing
bit
the audience.
disoriented. Still a bit disoriented.
Yes.
Yeah, he did get slapped in the face.
Yeah, all right.
So, how do you guys feel about role-playing games?
I like them. They're great. They're a lot of fun. When I was younger, I think the first role-playing game I ever played was this game. I think it was called Revenge at Krondor. It came out before Final Fantasy, but it was like exactly that kind of element when you'd be running along. Oh, I've stumbled upon a group of bandits, and now I have to fight them by selecting, and then they jump in, do their attack, jump out. It's a turn-based kind of game. But the coolest part of those games were the puzzle solving. They had all these like riddles around, and they were actually like legitimately difficult. It was sort of a mixture of a game like The Seventh Guest. You'd play those back in the day, like the point-and-click kind of adventures, and the like Final Fantasy RPG kind of thing as well. It's a lot of fun. And I am on the same page with you, even though you didn't make sense. That I like that people are adding sort of RPG elements into things, and I think the reason people do that is because they realize that it's really addicting. When you're like leveling up, you like want to progress and get better and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, very true. I mean, and what I thought you were trying to talk about was turn-based versus real-time RTS. And I do like the old school turn-based game. Nothing like a good turn-based RPG. I like the old Final Fantasy games, 1 and 2. Those were really fun. Pokemon, which is definitely fits under RPG, even though you're not really leveling up yourself as your monsters. But the evolution and everything was really fun. Red and Blue were just amazing games.
It's kind of like the new XCOM if you think about it. You sort of have your little guys that level up individually, and it's sort of that turn-based kind of thing.
They were on a whole nother level. They were way before any
Pokemon
of that.
like changed, like they made a new
They changed the
genre
game,
of role-playing games. And I remember seeing like so many Game Boy Advance games afterwards. I feel so silly wearing this stupid Twilight shirt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks good on you.
No,
But like there were so many games
doesn't.
after Pokemon that try to be Pokemon, and like some of them were really cool. Others were like, I see what you're doing there. It doesn't work.
I think you should pull those shoulders down a little bit more
Yeah,
just
show
to
us
make
some,
it extra sexy.
Show us a little something.
Yeah, do a little twirl for the
Why are
camera.
you doing this to us? What I really love about RPGs is your ability to customize your character's clothing. we like to think of Joven as our very own RPG character.
Okay.
He has +10 creepy weird guy, right?
Yeah.
So role-playing games, combat. Like I know we've been talking about some turn-based. I remember the first time I went into Final Fantasy 12. It like being a big fan of Final Fantasy up to that point, playing 12, you were moving around. Like it had a cool system, but it wasn't. At least 10 took turn-based and made it a little more realistic. Where it's like, all right, you did a quick attack, you'll be able to do a quick attack soon. If you did magic, it's gonna take a little while to be
Yeah.
able to do that again. That was cool, and then it was just taken away from role-playing game, thus creating action role-playing.
Yeah. The line does get blurry. Best example of like action role playing, I think, is like World of Warcraft. Is you know, you're still leveling up, you're still customizing your character, and you're still you know, it's not obviously not turn-based, it's very actiony, but it's still very much an RPG, and the MMO aspect of it makes it super addicting. I don't know. What do you think?
Well,
Best real-time non-turn-based RPG?
Well, I didn't really get into it. I only played the beta before it came out. But Terra, I think, would be like a sort of a pure action RPG because there isn't any of that, you know, rolling of the. I mean, there's a rolling of the dice in terms of the damage that you do, but you never have like a chance to miss. It's like if you hit them, you hit them, and if you don't, you don't. And what you see is what you get in terms of like landing.
That wasn't a dance cue. And don't ever dance in the Twilight Show.
Yeah.
I don't think
That
we
was
gave
bad.
you permission to do that.
I actually kind of want you to do that. Just do that once so that someone can make a Tumblr out of
Nope,
it.
this
Just
is
Tumblr
not a
thing.
backseat.
It's a nice little animated GIF.
What about you?
It probably has enough there to loop it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
You liked Final Fantasy 12. Did you ever play? Either of you guys ever play Parasite Eve?
I didn't. No.
Parasite Eve, I thought was very interesting because I thought going into that game, I thought it was gonna be like Resident Evil, just like another survival horror game. But it's like, oh no, we're gonna stop here. I have a chance to make this shot. There's the accuracy that was built in. That was cool. But also, you got that's stemming from overseas. Like, there was a period of time where just JRPGs were the like Final Fantasies were everything. You try to play a Final Fantasy game now, it's not at all the same.
It was never my but it was the for a lot of people.
And
yeah.
Parasite Eve also, like, they just knew how to redefine the field and make it work and make it interesting.
I don't know if Parasite Eve did work. Yeah, I don't know. I was kind of mixed on it. You know what game I loved? You guys play Chrono Trigger?
Oh,
I
of
did
course.
not.
Chrono Trigger.
Yeah.
One of the best RPGs of all time. And it showed that you didn't have to have a spectacular graphics engine. I mean, it was good graphics for its time, but it really holds up. I went back and played it recently. It really holds up even despite the graphical leaps we've made. You can still go back and play it and have a ton of fun with it.
Yeah, like that came around the time of like Final Fantasy 3, and like Final Fantasy 3, you have like, all right, here's your 4 people in a row, here's your bad guy, one attack, one attack, one attack. Chrono Trigger comes around, it's like, oh hey, so we got 3 people on the team. These 2 are standing close to each other so they can do a team attack, and it just blew your mind.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Do you think that RPGs nowadays are like a little too watered down in terms of like there aren't many pure RPGs out there anymore?
What makes a pure RPG?
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough
I
question
think he's
too.
talking about an old school turn-based RPG, form your party, level
there's
up.
dice under the hood kind of
that
thing.
type of thing.
No, I think that today's audience is just meant to a much faster paced game, that a turn-based game just doesn't work anymore. Like, for example, I love, speaking of Final Fantasy, there was Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yeah.
Now that was
an
a
amazing
turn-based
game.
Yeah, that was
role-playing
kind of-
game, but it was different.
That
you
was
playing on the
almost
field.
a strategy game, though.
Yeah, that
more.
game,
Okay.
XCOM and that game actually have a lot in common. Final Fantasy Tactics was the only Final Fantasy that I actually played, and I love that game. I think it's great. An interesting thing is that nowadays it seems like almost every game has the RPG element of leveling up or improving your skills, or what have you, and it's because I think it's that addicting thing. For some reason, when you have that element of I'm earning this new ability, it's that much more rewarding when you actually get it. It's like Far Cry, you get the ability to just come up behind people and do like a stealth takedown. Before that, you're just kind of left to shoot them or whatever. When you finally earn that ability, it actually doesn't take that long. You run behind someone and you stab them for the first time. Normally, you've just been like, oh, it's a takedown, but it's like, yes, I earned this, and your neck is just open now.
It also, like, it opens up to the gameplay. It can change up to every single user. Maybe look at your favorite game. With you go to hell. Go to hell. What is
Dante's
it?
Inferno?
Dante's Inferno.
Yeah.
You have 2 ways to play that game. Do you want to have like your good powers, your bad powers,
Or a mixture.
It makes you want to play the game multiple times to see, all right, what's it like playing this way? What's it like
Does
playing
that
the game with
replay
this
value?
abilities? Yeah. So
RPG elements are good in a lot of games.
Yeah.
Taking them and mixing them into other genres.
Even something as simple as Call of Duty or Battlefield or whatever, unlocking new guns.
New
That's an RPG element.
Or the Assassin's Creed multiplayer where you can get new ability sets and new perks and stuff like
new
that.
outfits, anything to customize it to be more for you.
Yeah, RPGs have given a lot to other genres. I think we can all appreciate that.
Yeah, but you know who hasn't chimed in on this yet?
Yes.
Yes.
We got to go to Ian and Anthony. via the Smosh Bot over here.
See what they got.
All right, the evolution of RPGs.
You know, because I was deprived as a child, I didn't really get to play a lot of the classics.
Yeah, you didn't even get to
So-
play any video game console until like the original Xbox.
No, no. Well, I mean, I always bumped off friends, but
Yeah.
you can't exactly go and play RPGs.
RPGs take like 40 plus
Yeah,
hours, so
yeah.
you gotta have your own. Well, you have Pokemon. Pokemon is an old RPG.
See, I don't think that's an RPG.
How is it not an RPG? You're playing the role. It's a role-playing game.
Well,
You're
I
playing
mean,
the role of the kid.
in every video game, you're playing
right,
the role.
right. But you're living the life of this kid. You're battling, leveling up.
But it's not about the kid, it's about the Pokemon.
Yeah, it's about
So-
you, and you're leveling up your characters and going through the world trying to defeat the bosses. It's totally an RPG.
All right.
It's like extremely an RPG.
I'll take that. I'll take it.
I like the new RPGs, how they don't have all the turn-based stuff, but at the same time, I do love the old RPGs. Like, Joven talked about Final Fantasy, but there's actually a better role-playing game for Super Nintendo, and that's Chrono Trigger.
Oh, snap.
Chrono Trigger! It's just amazing.
Yeah.
And I love the leveling up stuff. It's really addicting.
Yeah.
Like, even if you don't have anything that you want to do in the game, you're like, oh, I just gotta level up one more time. I liked the old turn-based stuff. Maybe it's just because I grew up with like Super Nintendo. Mario RPG is probably one of my favorite games ever. Then Paper Mario did it, and then now the newest Paper Mario games don't have the turn-based stuff in it. They don't even have leveling up anymore, which I'm kind of bummed out. But the story's still good, which I think it really boils down to the story, and RPG stories have always been good. So in the end, I like the new RPGs, but I prefer the leveling up and stuff like that. Definitely.
Yeah. So, RPGs, old or new, they're all good. Let's keep playing them.
There you go, sweet. Straight from Smosh headquarters there, giving their opinions. Some Pokemon fans, obviously, should have saw that one coming.
Yeah.
So we've heard from us, we've heard from Ian and Anthony. Let's hear from you guys. We went to Twitter, and this tweet actually really stuck out, and obviously we kind of agree on this one just as much. It was from tweeter Cat44, who said, I think the RPG genre has changed, so it creates a whole new genre of game. Example being, Mass Effect could now be considered an RPG shooter.
Right.
Which, like just RPG shooters, you have Borderlands, you have Mass Effect. It's all about building your own character, your own
own play
style
style.
of playing. Like,
Yeah.
you and I can play Borderlands, and it would be a completely different experience for both of us. And I think
Yeah.
that was very interesting to point out. It has made a new genre, the RPG shooter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you can take that a step further, and it's just like the action RPG. I mean, I think the definition of that has just sort of broadened. I brought it up earlier. Far Cry 3, for example, you have the skill trees that you can level up, and based on which tree you choose, you can go through the game completely differently, like more stealthy or more head-on or whatever. So,
I mean,
yeah, it's-
you could make almost anything an anything/RPG. Warcraft 3 might be an example of an RTS RPG because you
Yeah.
had the heroes you could level up, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can do that with a lot of genres and create those mixed
Sports
genres.
games have technically always been RPGs because you can like create athletes and give them different stats and stuff.
Yeah.
I think the big interesting point to look at is look at Super Nintendo days where you had like this was definitely a role-playing game and this definitely was an action game. Like you had two separate genres, and just over time, because of like the influence that role-playing games have had on the industry, is now just all you take the best elements and put into every other game, and now we have fabulous games to choose from.
Yeah.
So thank you, role-playing games. Thank you.
You got to be really careful how you spend your skill points, though. Otherwise, you might get the wrong skills and
Yeah,
end up with the wrong gear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Team, what is that? What team are you on?
I'm
I
Team
don't actually
Jacob,
know.
guys.
Jacob.
Okay.
I am Team Jacob. Come on,
Excellent.
he doesn't shimmer in the daylight.
Look at those
He's not a
long,
real
flowing
vampire.
locks.
He's got the hair.
Yeah.
Guys, this is Joven Shire. I'm Team Jacob. This is the Smosh Games crew here for Gamer Nation. Thank you guys for watching. Leave some comments below. We love you.